Hello, bakers. Happy Thursday, and welcome to today's Thought Leadership Thursday with KPM Analytics on overall quality control, a collaborative approach to help bakers reach their goals. We have Lena here from KPM today. KPM Analytics supplies instruments that measure critical quality parameters of incoming ingredients, how they perform during the baking process, and ensures that the final product quality meets spec. Their comprehensive range of analyzers are used by food producers throughout the world to improve their efficiency, ensure quality, and protect their brand. Today, we are joined by Lena Bosk-Byrne, application specialist at Chopin Technologies, a KPM Analytics brand. Welcome, Lena.
Well, thank you, Lynn. Thank you very much for having me.
Can you let us know a little bit about what you do over at Chopin Technologies?
Yes, absolutely. So I work for Chopin Technology brand of KPM Analytics since 2014, and I occupy different positions. Now I manage the food products and applications team. So that's a long title, but basically the role of the team consists in ensuring the development of new applications to enter into new markets and also to provide personalized solutions to our customers wanting to improve control of their products and processes.
That's wonderful. So in your line of work, what's your feelings on how does a manufacturer know when they need an overall quality control program?
Okay, so that's a very good question to start. I think that the typical profile of people coming to us for advice or for recommendations are industrial bakers encountering difficulties during production, even if the flour seems under control, meaning that they have specifications, a lot of specifications for the flour, and the flour is inside of the specs. But despite that, they suffer from potentially high rejection rates, non-conform product, sometimes production stoppage times regularly. And since it's a low margin business altogether, I mean, the production costs are increasing, energy costs are increasing. We believe that we should be very careful with managing the rejection. So in the end, every baker should benefit from a more global and objective approach.
That's correct. You can't just look at it from one part of the process. You need to look at it from the entire holistic view of what QC mean to you, right? So what is done in terms of quality control today?
Well, today, what we do most of the time is that we analyze the flour for a lot of parameters like falling number, protein content, farinograph, alveograph, ash content, moisture content, and so on. And we compare to existing specifications that have been made not necessarily by the baker himself, but more regularly, more generally, those specifications, they are coming from the literature, like a book telling you that for making a good sandwich bread, you need a flour with a protein content between this and that. Or even sometimes specifications were defined by the miller. So having all of those instruments and all of those specifications, we hope that it will ensure that the flour is fitting the production. And then the flour arrives at the baker, who is often doing very limited control. So he processes the flour, and sometimes everything works, but it's not always the case. Sometimes the dough is not the same as usual. It's more stiff, it's more soft, and it causes a whole bunch of products. And here, to qualify the dough, what we see are master bakers waiting on the line, touching the dough, manually assessing its characteristics. And this works great as long as you have this expertise in your company. But the fact is that this expertise is leaving the industry, and training new operators is like takes a lot of time without even counting subjectivity issues.
Correct, correct.
And then you have the final product. And today, what is done usually is that you have operators on the line, they are looking at the production, they maybe have a guide that says this is good and this is bad. And when it's bad, they are taking out the products manually and they reject it manually. And sometimes you also have punctual checks every hours, every half hour, that depends. Like you sample 10 final products and you measure key aspects such as weight, dimensions, color, like that. But it does not really give you a control over the entire production. And you don't necessarily know why the products were rejected at every moment.
That's true. So how can we improve?
So our idea is to do a little reverse engineering and to start with the end product in mind. So starting with the end product, this is the end product that really matters. So we start with the end product and we want to objectively, and this is a keyword here, objectively define and measure what is a good final product. And here we can use vision inspection systems. And then we can go backwards one step and analyze the dough also, not thanks to an operator touching the dough, but complementing this method thanks to a real logical equipment that can tell you this is the consistency of your dough, this is your number. And based on those results, you can go backwards one more step and design specifications made by you, for you, on the type of flour that is actually necessary to have a good dough and a good final product.
Mm-hmm. So in that aspect, I would like to ask you, what instruments can be used?
Okay, so here we want to analyze final product characteristics, dough characteristics, and flour characteristics. Mm-hmm. When it comes to final product characteristics, as part of KPM, we have brands specialized in vision inspection system, both benchtop and at-line systems. Mm-hmm. That can monitor your entire production, and also if they are coupled with rejection system, they can automatically reject non-compliant products. And here you have the entire production that is scanned, and you know why products were rejected. It's not necessarily the same thing, the same action to plan if, let's say, a burger bun has been rejected because the sesame seed were not regularly placed on top of the bun, or if it's because it's burned.
Correct.
And then for the dough and for the flour quality, our best recommendation would be to use rheological equipment such as the mixer lab that can assess both the flour quality and the dough characteristic at the line of production.
Mm-hmm. Good, good. And what benefits then does the mixer lab offer bakers in the quality control process?
So maybe to answer, I need to explain a little bit more what is a mixer lab. A mixer lab
is great. Yeah.
So the mixer lab is what we call a universal dough analyzer. It is a recording mixer that is measuring the evolution of the dough consistency during mixing, a little bit like a farinograph, but also during temperature changes. And that brings a lot of information, because what we get in the end is that the mixer lab is mixing the dough, and by mixing the dough, we get information a little bit like the farinograph on the protein, development time, stability, weakening, which is mainly due to the protein characteristic during mixing. But then the story does not end here. We can also heat up the dough, and because we are heating the dough, we can see how the gluten reacts to this increase in temperature. And when we reach a certain temperature, we can also see starch gelatinization. And then we can see how the starch gel resists to the mixing, to the dual action of mixing and temperature. And in the end, we can cool down the temperature, which shows the starch retrogradation, which is linked to shelf life of the final product. So here, because of this unique ability, because the MixerLab is able to measure within one test both protein and starch and their interaction in a dough system, that is really a perfect system to better understand the flour quality, all of it, and not only the protein, and to design efficient specifications to better communicate with your millers. And also a very good instrument to measure the dough quality at the line of production, to design specifications for what is a good dough. And if you have something wrong, then you know exactly where something must be changed. So, and the MixerLab is also a very good system to better understand the dough quality at the line of production. If you work on key moments of your production and you design specification for each of those moments, then you can know exactly where something was wrong. If everything was okay with the flour, that's not the flour. If everything after mixing was okay, that's not the mixing, but maybe it's just after proofing or just before the oven. But what I mean is that we can know exactly where to act in order to correct.
That is true. That is really, really true. So besides the MixerLab, what other instruments can be used?
As you may have understood, the MixerLab is a very good tool because it can analyze many information, many aspects of the flour quality, but sometimes this is not enough because the MixerLab can only see what it can see. What I mean is that it's great for measuring protein characteristic during mixing, again, development time, stability, and so on. But what about the extensibility of those proteins? What about the elasticity of those proteins? We know that extensibility, elasticity, they can have big repercussion on your dough quality and on your final product quality. And here, the alveol graph is actually a very good tool to measure those specific components, those specific aspects.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but as I would like to point out in a seminar that's upcoming for a hamburger bun production, I think elasticity is so important in contributing to the volume of the bun. And this is why, I wanted to add to your point that elasticity is so important in the volume of the product.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it can also apply to various applications. I mean, if you're talking about a pizza and you have too much elasticity, well, your pizza is going to be too small, and then you're going to put pizza sauce everywhere on your line, which is not good.
Absolutely. And also not forgetting, right, when you're packaging those pizza shells, if you're par baking and then packaging those, if it's too large, you can't package it. And if it's too small, it'll look like you're giving your customers a smaller product, right? So the elasticity there is especially important to really understand and do a QC check on when you're producing pizza crust or pizzas on a high-speed line. Definitely.
No, absolutely. And then we can also consider another aspect of the production, which is not really seen by the MixerLab or by the alveol graph, which is proofing. And to control proofing, we have a very good tool, which is the Rio F4, and that controls both the dough development, but also the gas production and the gas retention. That's actually a very good complementary information. In the end, we consider that the ideal quality control laboratory when it comes to flour should be MixerLab, alveol graph, and Rio F4. I mean, you have all of those three equipments, you have 100% control on your flour.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if any bakers out there plan to put in a QC lab, they can contact you for help. So how can KPM Analytics help in this situation?
So, of course, there is already a lot of information available on our website, on YouTube, of course, on your website as well, on BAKERpedia's website, because we've done a lot of things together. Most of the time, it's important to have a call together, a consultative call, during which we are going to ask a lot of questions about your process, about your ingredients, to really understand your process and your constraints. To recommend the best option. If you need to be convinced, then we can set up projects together. We can rent demo equipment. We can set up experiment plan together. We can help you in analyzing the data and make sure that everything is correctly done during the loan period. And then, of course, we can also offer personalized trainings if you're already a customer of us and you need more in-depth information about Alveograph, Rio F4, MixLab, or any other equipment from KPM brands. We do offer personalized trainings, and we do also a follow-up after the purchase, meaning that we don't stop. We are not only interested in you buying equipment. This is what I mean. We are interested in selling solutions. So you must be happy with what you have. That's our goal.
That's great. So can I ask one more question?
Yeah, of course.
Will it take a lot then to train a team on this instrumentation?
No. It's actually very simple to use because it is all about observing the process, what is good for your process, what is not good for your process. And once you have that, it's actually very easy to set up specifications. And when it comes to using the instruments, vision inspection systems are very easy to use because actually we do the installation, we handle the maintenance and everything. Once they are placed on the line of production, they are just here. They record the information, all the information. They give you this information and they reject automatically non-compliant products if you have an associated rejection system. And when it comes to the MixLab, this is a system that is completely automatized. So there is no need for a qualified operator. You just need to weight the flour or weight the dough, incorporate it into the MixLab, and that's it. That's a 5-minute operator time per test, approximately.
That's quick, that's fast, and that's awesome. I love it. So thank you, Lena, for coming on to Thought Leadership Thursday. KPM Analytics take on overall quality control as one of a collaborative approach to help bakers reach their goals is a unique take. So if you have any questions, please contact KPM today. All right, everyone. Thank you for coming on. Thank you, Lena.
Thank you, Lynn, for having me again. Bye-bye.
Bye.